It says, not yet, but
It won't let us.
no, we're good. We're live,
Okay,
honey. We
good.
should be live.
We did it.
Yeah. It says we're live. I don't.
Alexa, stop. I don't want to get in trouble for the music.
Oh, yes. Yes. We are live, so we'll
You
see.
are live.
Let's see. Yep, there we
One
are.
thumbs up. And there we go. We're coming in. People are starting to come in.
Yeah, I can see us. I just pulled up Facebook to see what we look like.
Nice.
So,
We look phenomenal, don't
how
we?
did you know people were coming in?
Because up in the top left corner of the StreamYard screen.
Oh, all right. We are
Oh,
definitely live.
hello, whoever came in. Hey guys, you got to give StreamYard permission or we can't see who's commenting. So if you could do that, that'd be awesome. Then
And
we know
she,
who we're talking to.
Trish is referring to if you're watching us on Facebook. So, so whoever
Yeah.
said hello to us right now, it just says Facebook user. So, see. Hello, ladies. Thanks for saying hi, friend. Looks like we've got 4 people joining us over on YouTube.
Oh,
Hey,
Melanie.
yeah, and hey, Sherry. Sherry says she's from Indiana. Glad you could join us.
Yes. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Melanie. From the YouTubes, as Jules says. She cracks me up with that.
I
The
know,
YouTubes.
I know. Friends, we'll wait a couple more minutes and see who else will join here. Hey,
Hi,
Joyce.
Joyce.
Wow, lots of
And over on
people.
Facebook,
Yeah, and
Rose
Rose. Yeah.
Drummond. And there's our friend Debbie
Hey,
on
Debbie.
Facebook.
This is so fun. You can see everybody's comments.
I
Yay.
know. I
So
love it.
fun. So fun to have you all here with us tonight. Um, we are going to start some beading tonight. So if you have, as you can see below Trish, that's a small wisdom warrior. No, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The big
if
one's right there. Like,
coming out of
there.
her head. So if you have that one, grab it. If not, you can do what we're doing on the original jewel loom. So both are, yeah. I see another Facebook user saying hi. So don't forget, if you're on Facebook, give StreamYard permission to use your information so we can respond to your messages. But hello, Facebook user, and Joan.
Hi, Joan. Hey, buddy.
It's so fun. Oh, Marcy Roy, welcome.
Nancy. Hello, Nancy.
So fun. Well, Trish, looks like, whoa, we're getting more. Hey, Yolanda, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year's to you too.
And
Oh,
Nicole is here. Our friend
yay!
Nicole.
So fun, Nicole. Well, Trish, do you want to start out and introduce yourself? Can everybody hear
Okay,
us
sure.
okay?
Yep. Sure, I can do that. My name is Tricia Guison. I own Pink Poodle Jewelry Studio here in Montgomery, Pennsylvania. I have been a beader for a jewelry maker beader for about 15 years. Um, I have my studio out of my home. And what else? I married my high school sweetheart, just to tell you a little bit about myself.
Mhm.
And we have two beautiful standard poodles, hence the name Pink Poodle Jewelry Studio. So, uh, and just been keeping busy doing lives. I have my own YouTube channel. I have TikTok. I do some stuff over there. The regular lineup there. But and I also have an Etsy shop. I think that about sums it up.
How long have you been lumen? Jewel lumen. I don't know what the
Jewel looming has actually been probably what in the last year or so that
Mhm.
I picked that up. because
Yeah.
I was never one to, do a loom. I was always wire work, wire work. That's my first love. But I'm finding out that the jewel loom is like right up there with it because it's a different kind of jewelry making.
Hmm.
It's a relaxing, it's a process, you know.
Hmm.
So yes, and Amber is the one that you can thank for getting me into it, or I can thank. She is the OG on the looming, so she introduced me to it, and now there's no turning back.
And you're fine. Your name is coming up. So the StreamYard mention is just, I think it's just in the the looming group. So if you're, I don't know if you're on the Facebook page. If you're on Jules's Facebook page, then I think you're okay. But your name's coming up, so you don't have to worry. We're just mentioning it for those whose names weren't coming up. Hey, Carmen and Joan. Actually, Trish and I were here early, but we didn't hit go live. You could have come and hung out with us.
You could have, most definitely. We'll have to do that sometime. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Joan. She posted it for us
Oh,
there.
awesome. Thank you.
She's awesome. We're gonna have Joan as a guest at one point. I just feel that in my bones.
I totally agree. Joan is gonna have to join us. Oh, I'm
So
glad,
now,
Anne.
Amber, tell us a little bit about you now.
Yeah. So hey, Catherine, welcome. Um, I have been, I've always been a maker. My mom was a maker and would sell at craft shows, and I was always making things. Yeah, Joan, that would be awesome. Yeah, we can do that. Anyways, Joan's saying she's gonna pin up things for us here. Anyways, and so I've had Mount Nittany Creations. So the name came from I live on Mount Nittany in central Pennsylvania, right next to Penn State University, who are the
Yep.
Nittany Lions. So, and I've had my shop over 5 years now, but I've been seriously beading jewelry making 6 years. But I've always done little things like that. So Trish and I met 3, 4 years ago at Bead Fest in the Philly area and got hooked up that way and have been beading and crazy together since. And it's been over a year that I've been doing jewel loom stuff in the sense of learning and getting my first loom. And if you knew how many looms I own now, yeah, we won't go
Yeah,
there.
like I
But
said, she's OG on that. She knows her business. Believe me.
uh, so yeah, so we're super excited. As you can see below Trish and I, you can see that that is the loom we're going to be working with tonight. But we also, you can also use, here's mine. Let's see, I will highlight me here. I'm going to go over the kit with you. But this is the small wisdom warrior. And Joan put on Facebook, she put the link up for you guys. It is also in the description on YouTube. So this is, I've just got to get used to how to do this here. This is the small wisdom warrior we're going to be, but you can also do the original jewel loom. And what we're going to be starting tonight, we won't be finishing our project, but we will be starting with, this is the earth tone beads in a bag. And it's beautiful. So very excited. So you would get, when you order it, you'd get this pretty gold bag from Jules, and you would get a bag here of 80 seed beads. They're kind of like a tannish brown color. And then a sparkly set of 11 O's. And then this beautiful, I'll dump this out for you guys so you can see, bead mix. I mean, it's just all this amazing amazing yumminess. There's
Check
these
glass in there. Yep.
oh yeah, beautiful feather charms and different colored glass pieces, all kinds of really fun earth tony uh, beads. So just really beautiful. So over the next month or so, we will be working with you guys on this kit. This week and we will be doing this in the last week of the month.
Yeah, we'll
Next
be
week,
finishing it up.
yeah. And then next week, we will be showing you something new that Jules is starting with patterns, with seed bead patterns. It is a really beautiful beads in a bag. So this is the one we will be working with this month. Super excited to share it, and you get a fun button too. So yeah, so I'm going to go over to Trish, wrong one. Go over to Trish here.
Okay.
And she is going to show you how to warp.
Well, first, I just want to say to Nicole, you asked a question. Do you both live close to each other? Yes, we do. We're about an hour and 15 minutes apart. So that's pretty awesome. And Lizzie, I see that you made a comment that says, broke my jewel loom, cracked it. Let Jules know that that happened and she can work with you to resolve that, okay? Okay, guys, so we're going to work this beautiful girl. So I'm just using some hemp cord by Hemptique. That's usually our go-to. But this is zero.5, I believe. Is that right, Amber? It's 0.5 instead of
yes, it's a smaller size. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's our 0.5, and I probably should have started this before I got on here, but we'll get it to work. We'll make it work here. See where the end is. I'm sure everybody deals with this at one point or another.
Mm-hmm.
There's an end stuck in there. Maybe that's it. Yes. Oh, look at that. Wasn't as painful as I thought it would be.
Catherine, to answer your question, sorry, there you Joan just posted the link to the beads in the bag for the earth tone, and I believe it's $19.99. That's okay, you're new. No worries.
Yeah, we also have, check this real quick, guys, and I'll be right back with you. I thought we had a link here too that we could post up on the screen.
It is in the description too, but Joan just posted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the YouTube description. So
gotcha. Yeah, Mrs. I'm not very savvy as far as the computer goes, as well as savvy as my earbud just fell out. There we go. You still there?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to get started here before I turn the whole thing into a huge mess. We're going to use this 0.5 hemp, and I'm just using it in this beautiful brown color. And you can see here on the Wisdom Warrior that it has knobs on either end. Okay, and it has the nice fine teeth, just like the original. But I prefer these, but I like both. You know, you can do either. But so basically, I'm going to start by tying my hemp onto one of the knobs. And usually, what I'll do, and I tie this pretty snug, I at least do a double knot with it, because then I know it's really on there. Okay, and see, I tied that on, and I left myself a little bit here, guys, to tie that. It just makes it a lot easier if you're not trying to use a really short piece to tie on your hemp. So basically, since we're using the 8 O's, we're going to be leaving one space between each. Now, how I do it, and I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants type of beater. I am not, so much just strict and everything has to be exact. That's not me, but anyway, what I do is I just find one of these notches up here on the far left side, for the left side, because we're going to do seven warps. So I'm going to start here in this first one. And as I go across here, guys, let me get this in the camera a little better here. I go across here, guys, and this is where I say I'm a fly by the seat of the pants. I'm not counting over to make sure that I have exactly the amount of notches over here as I do over here. As long as it's very close, pretty close, it's fine. Because that's just your starting one, okay? So once you do that, then you can see here I brought it around the bottom knob, and I'm keeping that tension on that with my thumb. The whole time you're warping, you want to make sure you're keeping the tension. That is what your key is going to be to a good warp, and especially on the Wisdom Warrior, as compared to the original loom, it doesn't have a bar like the original does, which offers you a little bit more tension. But you know, it's preference, but so keep your hem tight. And as you can see here, hopefully you can, I'm leaving one space in between there, like I said, for the 8-0 to go in there. So I go across here, and again, I'm keeping this tension as I'm going across here, guys, nice and tight. And I'm going to skip one up here at the top and put my hemp into it. And again, I'm coming down here to the back, and I'm wrapping, keeping that nice and snug, and I'm wrapping around that knob again. And if you feel like you want to make sure everything's a little tightened up, you can go around a couple times. I don't usually do that, but you know, I've been doing it for a while. If you feel more comfortable and you need to go around a couple times just to make sure that's snug, go for it. Okay? So let's see, am I off the screen? It's a little difficult to do this, to fit the whole thing in at one time, but so I'm finding another one of those notches on that end that we just brought it around the knob, and I'm taking that straight across, keeping that tension. Keep that tension, okay? Same thing. I'm going to skip a notch and put my hemp into it. Again, I'm going to go around the bottom, the knob there. Again, keeping tension, guys. I don't know if I can say this enough, but it's very important to keep your tension. And then we're going to look here, and we're going to skip one. I believe we're going to do 7, right? 7, I did say that, right? Okay.
Yes, you said 7.
Okay. All right, and we're just going to continue that process till we get our 7 warps. And don't be afraid, guys, if you're doing this, sorry, I'm kind of off the screen there, but if you're doing this and you can tell, like right out of the gate most of the time, at least I personally can, if it's not taut, you don't be afraid to take it loose and start over, because the warp is a huge part of how well your bracelet's going to come out. Okay. I'll even bring in my other hand sometimes just to make sure I have that tension. And I'm popping into another line here. Just making sure I'm getting what my eyes on is what they should be, so I have to pop my head in there sometimes. All right, same thing on this side. And that's a good idea there too, guys. If you have problems with your hand strength or anything, if you need to switch, you can certainly do that. Switch hands, you know. Because sometimes I know when I'm warping and I'm trying to keep that tension, sometimes my hands get a little sore. So that's a way to do that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So that means if we have 7, we've done 7 warps, we're going to have 6 beads that we're going to put in there. Okay. And that goes for everything with all of it. when you do warps, always, if you went 6 beads across, always do 7. So you're doing that extra warp. So what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm just wrapping this around a couple times and still keeping it taut, okay? And as I'm keeping that taut, I'm going to bring in my cord cutters and I'm going to cut myself, leaving myself probably about 3 or 4 inches there so I can tie this off without having too much problem doing it. So I went around that twice. What you're going to do is, and I'll hold this here to keep that tautness on there. And everybody's going to have their own technique, but this seems to work for me anyway. And I'm just feeding the end of that hemp through the underneath the warps, I should say. Okay. And once I get that through, I'm going to grab that with my other finger. Yes, I am. I promise I am.
Hey, Tricia, can you move up a little? It's a little dark where you are. Hey, there we go.
So once you get that through there, if you can see that, guys, I have that behind. Then I just bring it across the top and put it up through the bottom of that loop that we made. You're just basically tying this off so everything stays as tight as it should be, okay? So I've got that across and I'm just gonna pull down here, tighten that down, okay? And I'm gonna do that one more time. Sorry, I'm bouncing around, guys. There we go.
Beautiful.
Okay. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm actually gonna go around again just for stability. And push that up through there. You can see that. Sometimes my hands don't do what I tell it to do. Told them to do, and we're just going to put that strand behind there. Yes, I am. I promise, eventually. Okay. Okay, so I got that through again, and I'm just going to bring it around and put it through the bottom of my loop. And you can see how I'm keeping this thumb here. Still, at this point, I'm one of those people, and I still want to keep my attention. It just seems like it looks better for me that way. So there you go. I'm going to pull that tight. Sometimes I even bring my pliers in and just give it a nice little tug. And there you have it, guys. There's your work for your beads in the bag kit there. And you can see it's nice and taut. It plays like a guitar, you know you did it right.
It looks great, Trish. Thanks.
Thanks. Thank you. I learned from the best. You and you.
All right, so let me flip. I have to do a
And
little
who
more
is here
finagling.
with us tonight? Like the looks of it?
Oh,
Here in the comments.
oh no, that's us.
Oh, it's you. Oh, dang it.
Sorry.
Only you.
It's only me. All right, so Trish showed you how to warp. And the camera, you have to go the opposite of what you think. So
Yeah, I know it's a little bit confusing, especially for me.
So to use the kit, you're going to get out some jewel loom needles. And if you buy this loom or even the regular jewel loom, you will get needles with them. So, and tonight we're going to use the 8/0s for our base. So and then one of my favorite to use is Wildfire. Oh yeah, I could do that. Thank you. Hold on. There.
I would take my face out of it. I was trying to do it. She knew what I was trying to accomplish. Hey, I gotta try. That's what I was taught. You always try.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Joan. Joan made a comment that when she was warping this afternoon, if your warp material is thin enough, which the point 0.5 hemp should be, you can push it down into the grooves of, and the grooves are very similar. Uh, Everything about this loom, it's the same size. The grooves are similar to the original jewel loom. The big difference is you don't have the tension rod. Instead, you have the little knobs. Um, I actually prefer. Marie asked a great question over on YouTube. Do you have a preference to use this loom or the jewel loom? I actually prefer this one. It couple reasons. It is harder to warp, as I believe Nicole mentioned. It takes her several tries. It has taken me several tries to get it to warp well. Trish, you did an awesome job there. So that's the biggest difference, because with the original, you take out the tension rod and you have it's taut for you. So you have to work a little harder to make sure that it's that you have tension. But it is just so pretty to look at. I love like the feel of the wood. I love the artwork that Jules had put on it. Uh, so it's so fun to loom on it because it's just so beautiful. And so it makes the product so beautiful. So that was a really great question, Marie. So so we got our needle and I showed you I prefer wildfire. So tonight, and that you can find on Beadalon, or I believe there's some on Jules' web page as well. I just like the way it feels. Everybody has a different preference. This is my favorite. So I usually pull out about 2 wingspans. So from fingertip to fingertip with my arms stretched out. Um, I do 2 wingspans, 2 arm spans of wildfire. Now, if this is your first time, you might not want to do 2 wingspans. I would recommend maybe doing 1. So, so I've pulled out 2. Okay. And then I have these beautiful cutters. Oh, love these things. Zoran cutters. Amazing. So you'll need cutters, and you'll also need pliers for your project, because a little hint when using wildfire or a fire line or anything is you take um your you just need needle nose, any regular pliers fine, and you squeeze the end. So I don't know if I can get it to focus on that. But what you do is you flatten the end. And what that does, as long as it's a new jewel needle, I don't know about you, but I use my needles until they're like
Yeah.
falling apart. But if it's a new
Right.
needle, it should go right in. So a great way, hold the thread. So see how I only have a tiny little bit sticking out. So that allows the thread to be tighter, to be stiffer. That's what I mean. And you push, and now I can't, I just did it. It pushed in through the hole. So that flatten just helps just enough to be able to thread your needle. So I always start out, I like to have my girl facing me. It's backwards for you guys, but facing me. So I like to come under the first warp. Here's another difference between the original. I don't know why I didn't start with the other end. Silly me. Should have started with the other end. I'm just going to tie a knot. But another difference between the original, um, that's okay, Catherine. There will be a replay. Thanks for joining us. Um, yeah, is that the distance where you start on this loom versus where you start on the original is different. because there's less here. So I always find I have to remember when I weave on this loom to start down a little further so you have extra to finish your piece. Okay. So I am going to tie a little knot here on the first warp. And then, so we did 7 across. So that gives us 6 holes to put beads in. So I'm going to just go and pick up 6 seed beads. 1, I don't need to count out loud, probably 2. Another great thing about a new needle, it's very straight and easy to pick up beads. you, you should see how some of my beads turn out. So everybody does this a little different. I like to lay it under the warp and line all the beads up like that and hold, make sure my hand is not in the middle of the thread and hold the beads up in their place. Some people pull the thread all the way through the beads first and then do this. Either way is fine. You do what works for you. And then I just hold them in place between my pointer and my thumb as I'm pulling that through. So now you need to hold them here because we only have one side done. And make sure you're underneath the warp. Now, it's important to push the beads through, and we're going to go, you need to make sure you're going over top of the warp through every seed bead. So you can see, you should be able to see moved my hemp there, the needle on top of the hemp. And that way you know it's going over the top. And the first row is always the hardest. It's always the most difficult. So I'll pause there. I don't know if you can see the silver of my needle over top of all of the warps. That's important because if you miss that, your beads are just going to fall right out. So then I like to hold my beads, grab my needle, and pull back through. Are there any questions, Trish, that I'm missing, or is Joan catching them all? Joan, thank you so much. You rock. Thank you for your help.
Yes, she does. I'm not seeing any questions. I did see Catherine say that she does have to go and she will watch the replay. And of course, Joan is just taking care of us like she always does. She's awesome.
Awesome. So I just picked up 6 more seed beads. And once again, the same thing. Take my seed beads under. So I'll show you the other way people do it. And slide. So I just put the seed beads on, slide it all the way through first. There is no right way to do this. I bead usually from the top of the loom down, and Trish usually does from the bottom of the loom up. Either way is fine. Some people even do it sideways. So you do what you feel most comfortable doing. So once again, I pulled the thread all the way through, pushing the seed beads up through each channel of the warp. And now I'm going to go through each seed bead over top of the warp. And that's what locks your beads in. So the beads are getting woven in. And then you just pull it through. And I'll do 2 more rows. We want to try and keep these videos to about 30 minutes. So I'll do 2 more rows and review those steps. And then feel free to rewatch this video on how to do that. And what you're going to do is you measure your wrist. So this is going to be a bracelet we're making. Measure your wrist. I personally wear size 7. So I would bead just all the same thing all the way down for 6 inches. So I always take an inch out of what my wrist size is. Um, so if you are size 8 wrist, you're going to bead 7 inches. If you're size 6, you're going to bead 5 inches. So you can get different ways to measure your wrists. You can get one of the tape measures like they have for sewing and wrap it around your wrist, and match it up to see what size you are. You can get just a piece of paper and wrap it around your wrist and put it next to a ruler if you don't have one of the sewing tape measures. My camera, there we go, is going a little. Oh no, sideways. Oh, you like it sideways. Oh, fun. I see Tricia posted that up. How else do other people, if you've loomed before on either the original or on the Wisdom Warrior, the small or the large, what way do you like to bead? I'm picking up 6 seed beads. And then I like to do it this way. We'll probably do a project on the large Wisdom Warrior. So pretty much it's the same as this, but much bigger. And I like to do her, I bead on her sideways. But yeah, Trish, do you want to share some of those comments? Pop them up
Sure.
on the
I'm sorry, I
screen.
was looking at the banners. I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay.
Of the
So
different ways people.
Nicole says bottom to top. Patty, she's asking what color and size stringing and material. So on the stringing material, Patty, we are actually using 0.5 hemp. This is from Hemp Teak, and it's just a brown color. I don't know that they put detailed names for you on these. No, they do not. But yeah, it's just a brown color, and you can see. Well, you can't see because I'm showing you, but I'm not on the screen.
Well, I have brown. Yes. Oh, you want to
Yeah,
show?
no, that's okay. You got it there. So yeah, it's just a brown color, and it's 0.5.
And then
And
I'm
Patty says
using a 0.08 wildfire.
yes. And Patty said she likes sideways. And okay, we did that already. Um, Marie, I recently started in the middle because I have trouble with retention on
Oh.
the beginning and end. Being a bead or so wider than the top, still working on tension.
That will come with time, Marie. Just keep working
Yeah,
at
it
it.
does. It sure does. Oh, you're welcome, Patty. No problem, honey.
I'm all tangled up. That's why I mention if you're a new loomer, a jewel loomer, to make sure don't only do an arm span. Um, but
Yeah.
if you're experienced, you can do 2 because you get all tangled up as I'm doing right now. So this is the last row I'm going to do now. And as I mentioned, you're just going to keep on keeping till 1 inch away from your wrist size. Okay. And so you'll have a couple weeks to work on that. And you can do it either on the Small Wisdom Warrior or on the original Jewel Loom. Do you have an original handy that you could? We keep mentioning that, but
Me? No, unfortunately, I do not have an original up here. I
okay.
keep most. most of my looming supplies down by my chair downstairs because that's where I like to do it. But
There we go. Do you guys have any other questions about what we just showed you guys? Ooh, look at that pretty dish.
isn't that pretty? Somebody got me that. Somebody I love very much got me that.
I don't know who that would be.
No, no.
Great. Well, don't hesitate to contact Trish or I or Jules if you have any problems
Yeah.
with beading. And so next week we will be going over the seed bead patterns. So a whole new thing that
That'll be
Jules is
fun.
starting. Yes. Wait until you see it. It's so pretty. There's a
So
kit
cute.
or there's a kit or you can get just the design. And then we will come back to this the last week of January. So every Thursday at 7 you can get either Trish or I, one of
Or
us,
both of us, maybe.
or both of us. So for January, our plan is for both of us to be here for January, and then we will go on from there and see what's best. Yeah, so Joan has posted up the beads in a bag is what we're working with
Oh,
this month, the Earth Kit, and also the Small Wisdom Warrior. So both of them can be found at jewelloom.com. And Joan very graciously mentioned that we both have affiliate links. So
yeah.
those are all in the description. So that helps us out a lot. And we're so happy to spend this time with you guys.
Yes, it was super fun, guys. Always enjoyed hanging out and teaching. It's just super fun. And Nicole, you're very welcome. We appreciate you all joining us today because without you, what would we be, right?
Yeah, so fun. Thanks, Patty. Thanks, Joan. Thanks, Marie, Nicole, everybody that, oh, thanks, Carmen. This has been a blast. This has
Yes,
been a real
so fun.
blast. And we can't wait to see you next Thursday.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
So 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every week. Um, so figure that out. I'm not good at the whole
No, me
time thing.
neither. Nah.
Have a wonderful evening, guys, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.